Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey.
Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. And you try to kill our we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again. I'd love to avoid the conflict. Iran's going to have to negotiate a little bit tougher, meaning they're going to have to give us some things that they're not willing to give us right now. I'm the last person. I've kept us out of wars. We defeated ISIS completely, 100%. And I haven't had it's peace through strength. I believe in peace through strength. We have the greatest military in the world. I rebuilt the military, as you remember, for 4 years. I rebuilt the military. And then we gave a chunk of it away, but it was still peanuts. It was a lot, but it was peanuts compared to what we rebuilt. Gave it to Afghanistan, one of the most embarrassing moments in the history of our country with the whole withdrawal, the way they withdrew was very embarrassing. But we rebuilt the military. We have the greatest, strongest military. We defeated ISIS. We defeated ISIS. We defeated ISIS in 4 weeks. It was told to be 5 years. It was going to take 5 years, anywhere from 4 to 5 years. We did it in 4 weeks, with, by the way, headed by the general who's now the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. That's why he's there. He said it would take 4 weeks, and he did it in 4 weeks. He did actually a little bit faster. So we have a great country, and we're going to keep it that way.
Oh boy, pray for Trump, pray for America. Trump will be having an emergency national security meeting in a couple hours, White House Situation Room. Trump is still in the Oval Office working with the senior officials and monitoring intelligence and feeds. Pray for Trump, pray for America, pray for peace, peace through strength. Check this out.
Ducey to give us an idea of what we're looking at. I know the White House lights are still on, at least for the time being. Peter, what have we heard from the White House? What do you anticipate that we will hear from the White House?
Just in, while Jennifer was giving her report, they told us what President Trump's next big meeting on this is going to be. It's 11 o'clock tomorrow. The president will attend a National Security Council meeting in the Situation Room that is closed press, because that is going to be where they talk about all of the U.S. intelligence that they've been able to gather about these strikes overnight, stuff that Israel might not be sharing with us. And we don't know what Israel shared with us ahead of time. Earlier today in the East Room, I asked President Trump what the Israelis told us that made him want to evacuate the family members of U.S. service members in the Middle East. And he said, at least in this public setting, that Israel didn't tell us anything. I also had a chance to ask him in the East Room whether or not he was trying to talk Netanyahu out of these strikes ahead of time, or if it was so important to the administration to keep Iran from getting a nuclear weapon that he would just say, this is not a U.S. war. Bibi can do what he's got to do. Ultimately, the result is good. And the president's answer was, Israel, or rather Iran, just cannot get a nuclear weapon. Something else, it's pretty late here on the East Coast. It's 10-something, and a lot of folks in the West Wing are still at their desks. As I was walking up the driveway a few minutes ago, I spoke to a senior official who told me President Trump is still meeting with his senior team. He is still watching the pictures come in from the region, just like the rest of us. I asked if we were going to get a readout of any of his calls. It doesn't sound like we're going to get that tonight, but I have been directed by everybody that I've spoken to Rubio's statement, which does one thing mainly, and that is distance the United States from these attacks. Rubio said, tonight Israel took unilateral action against Iran. We are not involved in strikes against Iran, and our top priority is protecting American forces in the region. Israel advised us that they believe this action was necessary for its self-defense. President Trump and the administration have taken all necessary steps to protect our forces, and they remain in contact with the regional partners. And so there's a lot going on, and President Trump is going to we expect continue monitoring this throughout the night, and then he will be in the Situation Room first thing tomorrow. And he's staying in town for the big military parade. And then you look ahead to next week, he'll be in Canada meeting with G7 partners for the annual G7 summit. They are the host. And so it would seem like the entire schedule for that just got upended.
Peter Ducey, live for us, the White House.
Now, this was a couple months ago, but do y'all remember this?
It's Iran and their proxies who have threatened to retaliate against you and your team by killing you guys for taking out Soleimani.
Well, they haven't done that, and that would be a terrible thing for them to do, not because of me. If they did that, they would be obliterated. That'd be the end. I've left instructions. If they do it, they get obliterated. There won't be anything left. And they shouldn't be able to do it. And Biden should have said that, but he never did. I don't know why, lack of intelligence, perhaps. But he never said it. If that happens to a leader, or close to a leader, frankly, if you had other people involved also, you would call for total obliteration of a state that did it. That would include Iran. So
We are praying for peace. Pray for peace, man. Peace through strength. We're going to get into all this breaking news and some huge updates. Before we get in, I hope everybody that is tuned in right now, I hope that you are blessed, well, and healthy. One love to the human race. Love to my family members on the channel. We are family. Y'all are not subscribers, fans, whatever. We are family on this channel, man. And we are rooting for America, man. You know, bringing some of the best updates, some of the best laughs, smiles, good energy, and common sense and truth. You know, we might agree to disagree. You know, we might feel this way on this. And again, be real with me in the comment section. You know, because especially with the next couple of videos and topics that we're going to be talking about with President Trump and some of the things people are calling him out on, especially with, you know, amnesty on immigrant workers. I mean, so we got a lot of big things to get into. But it's been one crazy day, and you guys are going to see this video in a couple hours, and it will be Friday. So Friday, but today, Thursday, has been one crazy day. Seeing senators being put in handcuffs, and that's what I advocate for. Yeah, senators, you know, politicians, elected officials, you know, filthy, especially the ones in California and all these other places. They ran into the ground, hands behind back. You know, and as we see with the left, these Democrats, we are in a complete mess, and all the messes that we're in. I'm telling you, if Trump was president, none of this would have even happened. You know, we're seeing the riots. Gavin Newsom got shut down. Literally, it took an hour. What the appeals court ruled in like an hour. He thought he won, and then he made a post, and then got shut down after like an hour. It was like 2 or 3 hours. You know, what a disgrace. But we got some videos coming all day today on some huge updates, man. But we are praying for peace. We seeing what is taking place, man. As you read by the title. Let's go and get into this, you guys. But we pray we don't have to send any American soldier to war.
So the topic clearly on the left, whatever it is, it can be the riots in Los Angeles, or it can be Israel attacking Iran. It's always kind of going back to Trump. On that note, let's bring back in the chief political anchor, Bret Baier. He joins us by phone. He just happened to speak with the president of the United States, Donald Trump. Bret, what did he tell you?
He just spoke with him.
Hey, Trace. Yeah, I just spoke to President Trump. One thing, you know, the president was aware of Israel's action before it happened. There were no surprises here. But he gave me a quote. He said, Iran cannot have a nuclear bomb. We're hoping to get back to the negotiating table. We'll see. There are several people in leadership in Iran that will not be coming back. Now, the president, I know, has spoken to Prime Minister Netanyahu several times in recent days. As I mentioned before, the Trump administration reached out to a key Middle Eastern ally beforehand to acknowledge this strike was going to happen, but that the U.S. was not involved in the strike, but the goal still to get Iran back to the negotiating table. There was this building frustration about what Iran was doing at that negotiating table with Steve Witkoff, the Middle East envoy. He was scheduled again for Sunday. Looks like, obviously, that may change the dynamic there, whether that moves forward at all. Depends on what Iran does in response. The president told me he's, looking to see what the retaliation may be. CENTCOM is on high alert. The U.S. will defend will help defend Israel if needed. And as I mentioned in the last time we talked, the Iron Dome has been replenished in Israel in recent weeks. So there's still this hope in the president's sense and the people around him that this changes the dynamic for Iran, and that this does not launch into what will be a back and forth. But we just saw the post from the Supreme Leader saying that this is the beginning of a major retaliation, and that Israel, in his words, has sealed its fate. U.S. officials are confirming to us that a number of top Iranian officials, leaders, are dead after these strikes. But as far as the full sense of what the targeting looked like, Natanz, the nuclear facility, was struck, but we don't believe it was by the biggest of the penetrating bombs, but we will have to see come first light. And the U.S. military, and we've been saying this, was not directly involved in these strikes, but there clearly was an advanced knowledge and communication and knowledge of what was happening, and now we'll see exactly what the retaliation looks like.
Great reporting, as always. Brett Baer, the chief political anchor.
Oh boy, look who breaks the internet with this post, this tweet, about everything that's going on. The one and only Miss Candace Owens breaks the internet with this post. As she says, the most predictable war possibly ever. I'm sick of Israel, the those who pretend its actions are normal or even remotely justifiable. This country has a bloodlust like no other. Have an issue with this tweet? I literally don't care. Think defending Israel's demonic action is going to guarantee you a spot in heaven? Double your indulgence and sign your offspring up to die for Netanyahu. Leave the rest of us the hell alone. Man. Double your indulgence and sign your offspring up to die for Netanyahu. Leave the rest of us the hell alone. Miss Candace Owens. How do y'all feel about it? That Miss Owens? I know she's been here. And then there've been people posting all kind of stuff saying that she flip-flopped, she hates Trump now, she hates MAGA now, or she still is a part of MAGA, she still loves Trump, but she again doesn't like this, that. She's one of those ones, this and that. People are saying she's a traitor now. They're saying this. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comment section. We still have to do a deep dive, and we do probably have a video coming on that in the near future of Miss Candace Owens. And again, we've had her on the channel a couple of times with some great things, especially this past election, and calling out a lot of things, and a lot of her, those, because they call it conspiracy theorists, but conspiracy theorists, conspiracy facts. She's been one of those ones that's called out a lot of things and a lot of corruption, and did some deep diving on a lot of things and found a lot of things and exposed a lot of things, so one of those ones, Black conservative woman that a lot of people flock to and love, that she speaks a lot of truth, but now she is also making a lot of people mad on some of the things that she's coming off on. So let me know how you feel about Miss Owens right now. Again, we will have an update video and do a little more deep dive on her recent stances and talking about this and that, But again, once you say the wrong thing, people think this and that, and they take it the wrong way, and then, hey, it is what it is. But how do y'all feel about what she said right here? There's a reason she broke the internet. There's something on it.
This is not good and a massive insult to our president. Israel is striking Iran's capital. Israel has attacked Iran. Iranians report hearing massive explosions. Back in Tehran, ground shaking, windows rattling, and people walking around terrified. Smoke and fire seen from military bases all around Tehran. So it seems like very surgical strikes at this point. U.S. national security officials say they had no involvement in the Israeli strikes on Iran. One could assume Trump's probably pissed off. He did not want strikes, and he wanted negotiations scheduled. And here we go. My tax dollars somehow also my tax dollars. Israel's now made a mockery of the United States. I agree with this sentiment, by the way, from Sagar, very much so. President Trump said that he did not want strikes ahead of negotiations scheduled for tomorrow. They did it anyway. Their attack today is deliberate sabotage and a blatant attempt to force us into war. We must resist. Donald Trump, time and time again, saying he does not want war with Iran. Here's President Trump just hours ago.
Mr. President, how imminent is an Israeli strike on Iran?
Well, I don't want to say imminent, but it looks like it's something that could very well happen. Look, it's very simple, not complicated. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Other than that, I want them to be successful. I want them to be tremendous. We'll help them be successful. We'll between. I don't think it was their turn to hit, and eventually they're going to go nuclear. Trading with us, if you get me, they were both. I stopped that war with phone calls and trade. And India's here right now negotiating a trade deal, and Pakistan's coming, I think, next week. And I'm very proud of that. Nobody died. Nobody, the nuclear weapons, they each have very severe, very substantial numbers of nuclear weapons. And I think we should get some credit for that. You know, the whole Republican Party should, because that's their mindset.
He says, I don't want war. I want to negotiate. Trump saying, do it my way. I've already been very successful. I am de-escalating severely in Gaza and in Ukraine, and we don't need Iran to look like this. This is fire. And to kicks off, you can see here, this is a air base there in Tehran. So you can see it is in flames. Israel declares a state of emergency. Pretty significant post from Trump. Sounds like diplomatic negotiations with Iran are back on. Did Trump just convince Israel to stand down again? This was Donald Trump just an hour ago. We remain committed to diplomatic resolution in Iran nuclear issue. My entire administration has been directed to negotiate with Iran. They could be a great country, but they first must completely give up hopes of obtaining a nuclear weapon. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Reports of the Israel striking Iran, the Trump administration has reportedly said they did not partake in any strikes. Disinformation and panic is about to spread like wildfire. I implore everyone to observe reality. Stay frosty. Donald Trump, just hours ago. Well, I don't want to say imminent. It looks like something could very well happen. This is so bad. Nobody voted for more wars. Nobody voted for further war. Nobody voted for World War III. Donald Trump on Iran. This was last night.
On Iran, we're hearing reports that U.S. personnel are being moved out of the region within striking distance.
Well, they are being moved out because it could be a dangerous place, and we'll see what happens. But they are being, we've given notice to move out, and we'll see what happens.
Is there anything that can be done to dial the temperature down in the region?
They can't have a nuclear weapon. Very simply. They can't have a nuclear weapon. We're not going to allow that.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Trump administration is out hard saying, we didn't do this. We are not starting more wars. We are trying to bring peace. And as you have heard, Netanyahu has been a real pest inside of the White House. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz was fired because, according to multiple reports, he was working for Netanyahu and not for Trump. He was being used as a back channel into the administration. And the entire National Security Council has been gutted for that exact same reason. Donald Trump wants an administration based on his terms. His terms are America first. America gains nothing by being embroiled in foreign conflict. We are adamantly anti-war on this channel. It robs, all wars rob us. Unless we are defending our own nation, right? Unless we are putting down foreign insurrections in our own cities, right? Like what's happening in Los Angeles, which I cheer the deployment of the National Guard there. Unless we're doing that, all foreign wars do is cost us our greatest treasures, which of course is money and sovereignty of the nation. But then on top of that, obviously the lives of American, good young American men and women that get plodded into the soil of foreign lands for nothing. And so enough, ladies and gentlemen, of this, and please stay the hell out of it. Not our problem is the way that I look at it. Not our problem. If you agree with that, like, share, and subscribe.
Not our problem. pray for peace. Praying for peace. Pray for President Trump. Pray for America, man. I love you guys. Let me know what y'all think, and I will catch y'all in the next one, man. Peace and love, you guys.